What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 62 of the Roundup. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Cloud9 situation, as they have literally pulled off probably the worst roster based off Challengers talent I've ever seen, and I'm really interested to see how they do. We're going to talk a little bit about the Cloud9 situation. Of course, we're going to be doing our predictions for this week's matches, and we're also going to be talking about the R6 Invitational. I have been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege recently. A couple of people I know that do like the Rainbow Six Siege esports, so we're going to be including that in this episode. Let's see how many episodes we include this for. But if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. It is really appreciated, and like the video if you enjoy the roundup. We're up to 62 episodes. Obviously, the games are back this week after Major 1. Will Gentlemates keep their um, top form going, or will it be someone else that goes strong going into Major 2? Obviously, Major 2 at Birmingham, the online qualifiers are very, very important this time around, because obviously you will lose out on the potential chance of going to Birmingham and competing in the UK for the first time since 2020. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. But without further ado, we're obviously, as always, going to start with the Call of Duty stuff. So we're going to talk about Cloud9 first. So this is Cloud9's new roster. Now, except Encourage, a lot of people won't have heard of the other three players. So this is the new Cloud9 roster. Orkis, who's come from Fortnite. Nezra, Encourage, and Hyde, or Hide. I don't know if it's like Hide or Hyde. This is Cloud9 New York. Wow. A lot of people are very annoyed that Cloud9 now have the roster spot. So many players have rejected the Cloud9 offer. Challengers players have rejected the Cloud9 offer because they don't want to play under this organisation. So the rumour, obviously after Major 1, their whole team got wiped. The rumour was that they wanted to halve their salary. Now, there's no minimum salary in the CDL anymore, but apparently it was going to be around $24,000 a year, which obviously, you know, for playing Call of Duty is good, but if they're not doing any other content or anything, not getting any more money in, that might not be enough to live off in America. Obviously, I don't know how it is to live in America, but obviously, you hear a lot of bad stories about it at the moment. I didn't think this would turn into a political episode. Obviously, it's not. I'm trying not to include any politics here, but like, that's just how it is. The price of stuff goes up as well. So it's not ideal. It's not an ideal situation at all. But Cloud9 obviously are known for having budget teams. And obviously Bush would have loved the CDL spot. And one of Bush's players, Spart, who was actually on Cloud9 for a little bit last year, turned them down and stayed on Bush. Even though these players aren't getting salaries at Challengers level, they would rather stick to Challengers than play for Cloud9. It is a shame that this is Cloud9 is a big organisation, and I do like Cloud9 a lot as an organisation. You know, they are an organisation that I do like. But unfortunately, this just isn't good. And you know, we've had poverty orgs in the league before, but I did not expect Cloud9 in their second year to become a poverty org on another dimension, to be honest, with the poverty org. Um, yeah, look, my opinion is that Cloud9 now will be the worst team in the league. Um, but what I will not do is count any of these guys out. I genuinely wish these four the best, and fair play for them to take in the opportunity. If it was me, like, I think I read a stat where, like, none of these players have got top 12 at LAN at the last event. Nezra's never had a top 12 at LAN in Challengers. I'm taking this opportunity because realistically, these type of, like, Nezra, for example, is never going to be getting picked up anyway, so you might as well go for it. So then, obviously, there's been some interviews and stuff like that. Jack Etienne, who's the CEO of Cloud9, he's basically said that, like, he doesn't want. He said that the pay thing is not true. He said that like he wants the players to be promoting the Call of Duty pack, to be making sales off that, because they want the prize money that the players and coaches get to 100% go to them. They don't want to be taking a cut of that. But their sponsors and themselves need to make money, and that, on a business point of view, I completely understand that. You see the amount of team packs that you see. Optic Phase, Thieves will sell, Koi, Heretics will sell. They'll sell a lot. But Cloud9 might not sell as much, especially with the players they've currently got on their team. There isn't any fan favourite, especially now there isn't. But three of these players have come from the Stallions, so fair enough. They might have a bit of a fan base from Zuma, which is obviously good. going into split two. But this is for me. There's a lot of pros in the Call of Duty League that don't do any content whatsoever. They don't even stream. A lot of them, they just scrim, watch VOD, play, earn a bit of money. And I can understand that's not profitable, and that is probably the reason why the CDL has struggled a bit. Challenges, for example, this year is the strongest it's been for a long, long time because of content and because of organisations such as Bush being in it, Optic are in it with the Huntsman. You know, Nyum's just gone to the LA Thieves as we expected it would happen. I won't bother with like an announcement or like mentioning that segment. Obviously, yeah, Nyum went to the Thieves. We expected it to be happening last episode, and it obviously did. I wish him the best, but obviously, like Huntsman is a good organisation to be on, a good challenger team. Or Johnny, who's obviously had a couple of spells in the league, and to be honest, in my opinion, has played really well in the league. He's not back in the league, sorry, but he's with the Huntsman now. Kips and Renegade, who are part of Optic's Huntsman team, they turned down the Cloud9 offer. They just they didn't see a purpose in being in doing it, which again I can completely understand. But the problem is this Cloud9 team I do expect to get top 12. I don't expect them to even be travelling to Birmingham. I don't think they'll qualify for the event. And my problem is like their stock will go down, but these players need the opportunity. So I don't blame the players whatsoever for taking this opportunity. But the amount of names that were coming out of the challenger scene, I'd never heard of any of them before. And it's like, yo, this guy's turned down the offer. It's like, who are you? Will you ever actually be in the league? You know, we'll have to see what happens. But I do agree that teams need to. Obviously, the CDL have given an increased revenue split on the team packs. So, for example, if you look at Rainbow Six Siege, I've just bought the G2 Rainbow Six Siege esports bundle, and I think it's at like 50% of the transaction goes to the organisation. Now, Cloud9 have one there, and they're probably looking at it thinking, yeah, their Cloud9 bundle is really nice, by the way, but G2 is probably my favourite team in Rainbow Six, because I quite like Stomping, and I like G2 as an organisation. They're my team in CS. Obviously, Optic only really have Call of Duty now, so that's why it's always a bit difficult. Optic's obviously the organisation I support, but then obviously in CS it's G2, in Rainbow Six it's G2. So obviously, like, I do want obviously G2 to do alright in COD, but obviously not win anything because I want Optic to win everything, as you'd expect. But yeah, I wish this roster all the best. It's not going to be easy for them, but I think they can. I think they could shock people, but not like get like a top six at a tournament. But like they could probably win a couple of online matches. But I've seen some people comparing them to like the Falcons. Of the last season's Falcons team, where obviously you've got like King of Body, Kicks, Exnid, and like Duam, or they had like loads of different players. I can't remember them all, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, like them type of players, like obviously they were expecting to get absolutely thumped. This is going to be a similar situation, I think. But we'll just obviously there was a lot of hype about Encourage. We've talked about Encourage on the roundup before, where I feel like he's just kind of like given up too easily, and he just thinks everything should be handed on to a silver platter. I do not blame him at all for taking this offer, because he said that, you know, he's the one pro. When I saw he was linked, I was like, he's taking it, 100%. Obviously, we didn't talk about Major 1 in the roundup extra. I said I would for challengers. That can still happen. That can still happen just a bit late. It might just be a 5-minute segment. I do want to bring the roundup extra back, so we'll have to obviously look into that. Because like I said, I do want to bring it back. Right. Predictions. We didn't do our predictions last week. So yeah. Let's just check first how many matches we've got. We got. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Wait. Oh. We've got an 11 game week people now. That's a really good sighting, to be honest. 11 games of Call of Duty. Happy days. I like that. I do. I like that a lot. Obviously, I'm recording this on Thursday. It'll be out tonight as well at 6 o'clock. So the games start tomorrow, and we start with Optic. I like that. I like that Optic are starting. Optic versus Boston Breach. Now, there was rumours that was it Cammy or Purge? Yeah, Cammy or Purge could potentially be dropped. Doesn't look like that's happening yet. So, Optic versus Breach. I think this will actually be quite a close series, unfortunately. I don't think Optic will steamroll this. I'm going to go with a very close 3-1 Optic here. Like, I do have Optic winning this, but I still am not 100% sure how they'll win it. But we'll go with Optic here, 3-1. By the way, I completely forgot about the challenges I was going to do with my predictions. Like I said I was going to do them on pre-season. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, guys. We can start them. We could start them either this week. Or we'll just won't bother. I don't know. Koi Ravens. Obviously, didn't Koi and Ravens... I believe Koi and Ravens played each other in normal... in last split, and it was 3-0 Ravens, I'm pretty sure. But obviously, Koi have done that change, which I did say, the role change that was expected. So Real is now the flex, and Kleenex is back on the sub. I'm going to go with 3-1 here to Koi, but let's just see what happens. I just think Koi are a better team anyway. So that's kind of why I'm going for them. But we'll see what happens, obviously. Heretics FaZe. Yeah, FaZe obviously... I don't know. I'll be honest on this one. I'll go with 3-1 FaZe. I don't think FaZe 3-0. I don't think Heretics win. I'll go 3-1. I'll just play a bit of a safe prediction. Then we have 4 games on Saturday. I know obviously that one says Sunday, but just because it's at 12:30 midnight. 30 minutes after midnight. Good start here, Falcons. Paris Gentlemates. I like this. Obviously, Falcons who did okay at the major, nothing special. Against obviously the current champions of this season, the major one winners. I'm gonna go with 3-1 to Gentlemates. I think that Falcons will take the Overlord, but I think that Gentlemates will take 1, 2, and 4 here, and will carry on their good work. Obviously, by the way, there is no MVP or Rookie of the Year ladder because there isn't anything to update on. However, I will say this actually, now that I've remembered, the Rookie of the Year ladder could get pretty interesting now. We've got 4 new players to add to it. I like that a lot, actually. Because there wasn't a standout anywhere. But, yeah, like, if Cloud9 they could have one of them players could be really, really good. And we could have a nice little Rookie of the Year contest against, like, a Mamba or a Trex or a Lurks, you know. That'll be pretty good. And then we have Optic versus G2. I'm hoping Optic take this one. I'll go 3-1. I think the S&D might be won by G2. G2 are a decent little S&D team. So yeah, I'll go with 3-1 here to Optic. Koi FaZe, good matchup, Koi FaZe, but I am gonna go with FaZe winning this one 3-1. I think FaZe are gonna have a pretty good weekend and a good start to the Major 2 split. Obviously, the online qualifiers are a lot more important here because obviously some teams won't make it to Birmingham. I believe how it's going to be played out, I think the top 6 teams in the split qualify automatically. 12th and 11th are fully out, and then 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th will do. 7th will play 10th, 8th will play 9th. The 2 teams that win those series will be in the 8th bracket. Now, I could be wrong. Okay, and if I am wrong, we'll talk about that closer to the event. So I am sorry in advance if I have got that wrong. That's just what I'm believing that this is. That's just what I believe it is. Okay. But I think that's how it's gonna go. And then obviously after that we've got Surge versus the LA Thieves, and new debut Neum is coming in. He's also a rookie. We're gonna have a well. Let's be honest. If Thieves play well and he's looking good, he's probably gonna get Rookie of the Year. But yeah, we've obviously got 5 new rookies going into it. It's good. We've got a nice rookie class. Quite a few rookies this year. Hopefully the Rookie of the Year race will be good. I think the MVP race will be good. It's very open at the moment. Obviously, I've gone with a bit of Gentlemates heavy because they've won the first event, but that will obviously spread out eventually, unless they win every game from the rest of the season, of course. Surge Thieves, yeah, 3-0 Thieves. Let's not even talk about that one. Surge is shit. Right, then we've got Sunday's matches, and we start with Paris Gentlemates versus Miami Heretics. France versus Spain. I've got France winning this one, and I'm actually gonna go with a 3-0 here. Yeah, I've got the Gentlemates comfortably winning this series. And it'll be another good showing here for Gentlemen. They'll be so happy with their season so far. To win an event, 4 free agents, very good free agents, all on the same team, working brilliantly. I predicted them to win 1 event this year. They've already done that. They look like they could probably win more at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Falcons versus Breach. Uh, hmm. That's an interesting one, but I'm gonna go with game 5. I think we'll have a game 5 here, and I'm going to go with Boston Breach here to win Game 5 against the Falcons. Let's see if it happens. Obviously, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but yeah, let's go with Breach 3-2. Snoopy Masterclass in Game 5. And then we've got the Thieves versus the Ravens, obviously. Played each other at Major 1 and online and on LAN. On LAN, the Ravens won. On LAN, the Ravens got absolutely annihilated by the Thieves. And I've got the Thieves winning this one 3-1 here. I think they might take a map because there's still a bit of work that they'll need to do with Newham on the team. Obviously, a bit of work, but yeah. 3-1 here, Thieves, and a good weekend for them. To finish off the weekend of a lot of matches as well, with an 11's decent. We've got G2 versus Cloud9 here. I'm going to go with... I'm sorry, Cloud9. I want to give them a chance, but their first game will be the hardest, most likely, regardless of the opponent. 3-0 Minnesota. G2 here, take it. 3-0, very comfortable. And I expect one of Kremp or Estriel to get like a 1.8 KD. I think it's going to be a slamming. I'm so sorry to say this to the Cloud9 fans and the players, but I'm going to go with a 3-0 here to G2. So that's all the CDL stuff for this weekend. Now we're going to talk about Rainbow Six for a little bit. Not too long, obviously. But I haven't watched all the matches, but I've watched a little bit whilst I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege recently. So let's talk about Rainbow Six, because we've obviously having the Rainbow Six Invitational at the moment in Paris, and we've had group stage play, which was 4 groups of 5 teams. We'll show you how the groups went. So you had 4 matches. You had so by the looks of it, you got 4 points for a... Wait, how does this work? I don't know how the pointing system works. Because... Well, surely you get 4 points for a close win. But then that... So Wellbore Gaming, they won 2 comfortable matches and 2 close wins. Looks like you get less points for a close win. They looked like they were dominant. We won't look at each score, but then M80 also got in the top 2. Heretics 3rd, NIP 4th, and Fearex in 5th. Then Wildcard, I watched Wildcard versus Daystar and Elevate, and I watched Daystar versus Furia, but Wildcard, so you get a point for a close loss. 2 points for a win. I don't know how it works, but Anyway, yeah, so you must get 4 points for a normal win, 2 points for a close win. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Wildcard Furia Falcons, they start Elevate Group C. FaZe, Shopify Rebellion, KIA, G2 unfortunately in 4th, and Black Dragons in 5th. Yeah, G2 struggled here. And then Group D, Secret, Fluxor, Space Station, Oxygen, and Enterprise. Obviously, Oxygen is Boston Breach, if you're not aware. But yeah, that was the group stage. The playoffs are in progress as we speak. So most of the games have happened so far. Obviously, the final is going to be on Sunday. So M80. So this is the upper bracket. So obviously, Space Station beat M80, Fluxor beat KIA, Furia Heretics, Falcons beat Shopify, and then the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. Wildcard beat Space Station, FaZe beat Fluxor, Furia beat Wellbo. Obviously, Wellbo had that really good group phase. Falcons beat Secret, and then in the semi-finals, Falcons beat Furia and FaZe beat Wildcard. Then in the lower bracket, G2 beat M80 to send them home. KIA beat Daystar. Oxygen beat Heretic. Shopify beat NIP. G2 lost to Secret, so G2 do go home. A very poor showing from G2. Wellboard do beat D+. Fluxor knock out Oxygen. Space Station beat Shopify Rebellion in an interesting series. Team Secret beat Wellboard Gaming. Obviously, Wellboard, like we said, they had a really good group stage. Unfortunately, though, couldn't even make the quarterfinals of the lower bracket, and then Fluxor beat Space Station. So, obviously, tomorrow we've got Secret versus Wildcard. We're going to go with Secret beating Wildcard here. Fluxor Furia, I'm going to go with Furia winning that. And then, obviously, the winners of these two games. So how it'll work is the winners of these two games will face each other in the semi-finals, and then the winner will go to the losers final. The losers final obviously is between the winners final is FaZe versus Falcons. Whoever wins that final goes to grand finals. The loser. So let's say FaZe beat Falcons, which is what I'm going to predict. I am going to predict FaZe will beat Falcons here. FaZe beat Falcons. Falcons go to lower bracket. Let's say they would play Furia. Whoever wins that would then play FaZe in the grand finals. So that's how the bracket works. Similar to how it works in Call of Duty. Obviously, I believe that grand finals will be a best of 5. That I'm not 100% sure on. That's just my prediction. Is it will be a best of 5. But yeah, obviously when it gets to the main finals, obviously the fans they'll be loud. Paris, the crowd will be amazing. I wish Gentlemates had a siege team. Obviously that would make the arena really really loud. But it's going to be good. The CDL's back this weekend. We've got Rainbow Six Invitational finals happening. You know, we've got a good weekend of esports. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. I hope we get some good storylines in R6. I hope we get some good Call of Duty. Let's see how the new Cloud9 boys do. Let's see how Nyum does. Let's see how Real and Kleenex swapping will work. Can Gentlemates keep it up? And that is going to be the end note of this episode of the Roundup. I do really appreciate everyone that has tuned in recently. I know the views on the Roundup have dropped off quite a bit. And that's fine. I do it as a passion rather than as a job, YouTube anyway. I obviously would like it to be better in terms of getting more views again. You know, we used to get like 40 every episode, like we're struggling to hit the 30 mark at the moment. But hopefully that's why I'm trying to branch out a bit with the R6 stuff. That might bring a little bit more interest. I don't know. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens. But that is going to be the end of this episode. So thank you so much to everyone that has tuned in. Let me know down below who you think is going to win R6. Let me know what you think of the CDL this weekend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you very much.